we're back. For those of you that know me, hello again. But for those that don't, and this is the very first video of mine that you've seen, let's rewind a bit and I can bring you up to speed. So for the better part of 10 years, I've been an architectural photographer, but I always worked for other people and, in their businesses. That was until about 4 years ago when life happened, as it does, and I was thrust into the business world and started working for myself. Not only doing architectural photography, but I picked up a video camera and dedicated myself to becoming an architectural filmmaker as well. And that business, as it's been known until now, was Shutter Speed Studios. Now, Shutter Speed Studios was fine and I was making a little bit of money, but the business and what it was doing and where it was going ended up a little bit like a road full of potholes, so you fill a little bit up here and you patch a little bit over there, and over time the road just gets lumpy and it's not really doing the job anymore. You really need a nice smooth surface again. But one thing that I did, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy with Shutter Speed Studios in doing, was I started going out of my way to talk to builders. And I mean, I spoke to a lot of builders. And what I spoke to them about was their business and more specifically their marketing within the business. So I spoke to them and wanted to know things like, what's working for you and what's not, what's been worthwhile, and what wouldn't you do again? Where are you right now with your business? And, where do you want to go? Where do you want to take it? What struggles or hurdles are you finding in getting there if you are trying to grow your business? Now, I did this often enough that over time, I started to recognize and see patterns. And a lot of you and a lot of builders, a lot of architects and building designers, they started saying the same things, and I was hearing the same things over and over again. Things like, I quote a lot, but I miss out on some of them because, the client went to someone cheaper. Or, I heard a lot of the time, this guy over here, he's been in this area a lot longer than me, and, people know him, so he gets all the work. Or I was being told, it's a saturated market. There's too many builders these days, but, a lot of them, they aren't really that great, and it's hard to stand out. Or I want to build more expensive projects, but I can't get into that market. Or I want better clients, higher paying clients, better clients to work with. Or God forbid, I couldn't tell you the number of times I had people tell me that I have to drop my prices just to win jobs. Now, the huge majority of guys that I spoke to, they had pretty similar stories. So it got me thinking, and I started really trying to figure out, well, if you're all saying the same things and if you're all feeling like this, then other guys must be feeling like this too. And most of this stuff ended up in one way or another coming back to their marketing and how these guys presented their business to people. So, I went to their websites, I looked at their socials, and I just soaked up a lot of info, exactly as anyone who was making inquiries with their business would do. And the overall thing that I walked away with was that builders in general struggle with their marketing and they aren't very good at it. And in a lot of cases, it just sucked. There's no other way to say it. It just sucked. It was pretty shitty. And look, I get it. Why should you be great at marketing? You didn't become a builder or an architect to have to learn marketing. You learned how to build a house, not a business in a lot of cases. And most likely you had grand plans of building these amazing projects that people loved. And the more they loved them, the more they'd tell people about them, and then they'd want to work with you, and then you'd build an amazing project for them, and they'd tell people about it, and then people that they knew would want to work with you, and so on, and life would be awesome. But in most cases, something happened along the way, and it hasn't worked out like that. Now, a lot of you that I've spoken to have told me that you basically wind up taking on every job you can just to get by. And, those dream projects and those dream clients, they're exactly that now. They're just dreams. And reality tells a pretty different story. You pitch a lot, you're up late at night quoting on jobs just to find out that they went with the cheap guy who, you know they're not going to do it properly. You're missing time with your kids, time with your wife and your family because you're working 6 or 7 days a week just to get things done. You run a pretty slim team, and if one of the boys calls in sick, it means that little bit of time that you did have, well, that's gone now because there's not enough hands on deck to get the work done anymore. So it all falls back on you. And overall, you're overworked, you're underslept, and probably you're underpaid. So that's why I decided to start this business. Now, I've heard and I've looked into how businesses run from pros who are doing multi-million dollar projects right down to guys who are in their first 12 months into their own business and who are just getting started with their journey. So, the things that I'm going to be sharing with you aren't just for beginners, although, if you are a beginner, it'll be perfect for you as well. This is for anyone who needs that extra little push, that extra little bit of encouragement, that bit of direction. It's for anyone who needs a cheerleader cheering them on, showing you that there really is a way to build those dream projects that you've always dreamt about, working with those dream clients that you always wished that you had, and making enough money that you don't feel the need to say yes to every single job anymore, just so you can, pay your bills and keep the lights on. You'll be able to build a business that can actually make this industry a slightly better place. Now, let's be real, the building industry gets a pretty bad rap a lot of the time, but it's important to show that there are good guys out there, guys like you. And it's important for people to know that and to see that. And I mean, what a concept to have a positive influence in the industry that we all work in. I mean, there's so much shit and negativity when it comes to builders. And look, I know you guys have heard it. I've heard it. People say builders, they just take your money and run. They shut up shop overnight and leave you with half finished home. They leave you with a list of defects that you know they're never going to come back to fix. These are real comments that I've literally seen people leave about certain builders. And in some instances, I mean, they're right, but you're not all like that. So, what if all of you listening to this right now took little steps to show that it's not about you, the builder, but rather about them, the client? Don't you think that over time, if enough people take the same approach, that things could even be slightly better for builders than they are right now? Now, look, I know that all sounds like pie in the sky stuff and whatever, but I genuinely believe that it's possible because I've seen builders do it. So, well, anyway, that's just a little bit of a tangent. So, today, the point of today is I want to fill you in on what this page and this business is about. And it's something that I hope is going to keep you coming back here for more. You see, a lot of people in this space, I guess the teaching space or the blogging space, marketing space, is they give away what's known as teaser content. And what teaser content is, it's content that's very light. It doesn't go too deep into things, and it's conceptual in nature. And it always leads you to want to dive deeper, which is the whole point. It's a teaser. Now, generally speaking, though, by the end of the article or the video or whatever that content is that you're consuming, if it's teaser content, you're hooked and you're liking it and you're waiting for that golden nugget or that next step or that strategy or the details of the thing. And when you get to the end of the content where you're expecting that juicy bit and you're expecting the answer and you're like, here it is, that it just stops. And what they really want you to do is buy their thing or get their course or join their membership to actually get the answer. Now, while this model works and people can make a lot of money from it, I don't necessarily believe in it. What that model is It's basically selling. They get you in and you're thinking, yeah, that's right. Like, you're talking to me, you're answering my problems. And yes, yes, like, I want the answer. You have the answer. And oh my God, like, this is amazing. Why didn't I find you before? I mean, that's selling. And well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what I want my content to be. So my philosophy is that I want to give you all my stuff for free. I want to give you so much value and so much information that you can actually act on and use for absolutely nothing, that when the time comes and you're ready to do some of this stuff, that it's a complete no-brainer that you come to me to help you with it. So let me dive in a little bit. This is what I believe smart people in this kind of business are doing. They're giving away their best stuff. And I mean their best stuff. And they're giving it away regularly. So it's not just a one-time thing. And, if you miss out, too bad. And they're not just giving it to their paying customers, but they're also giving it to those people who only ever take advantage of their free stuff. And that's perfectly fine. There's businesses who I only take advantage of their free stuff. I mean, look, I get it. Some of you guys are new businesses. You don't have a lot of extra cash to spend on marketing. You don't have thousands of dollars to work with business coaches yet. You can't afford a heap of professional media yet. You've got to be conscious of where your money's getting spent, but you need it, and you know that it will help you make money in the end, but you need money in order to do that. And it's a painful cycle, and I get it because I've been there. So if you are one of those guys, I want to help you too. And I want to help you get your business to a place where you can afford to do those kinds of things. Just because you can't afford it right now, it doesn't mean that you should completely miss out. And I still want to be here and I still want to serve you. So that's my approach. And this is also the kind of approach that I want you to think about when it comes to your business and your own marketing for your business. You see, we all know that the internet is a massively crowded place between Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. There are literally billions of pieces of content coming out every single day. There's literally an ocean of content out there for people to get lost in. And well, that's just the stark, cold truth of things. So if that's the reality of the internet, that it's this crazy, crazy, flooded and oversaturated place, the fact that someone even stumbles into your content or your website or your social media, you're lucky. You're lucky that they even found you. Even if you're doing all the things that I'm going to be telling you to do to strategically place your business where it needs to be online, even if you're doing all of that out of all the websites, all the social media accounts, and all the scrolling and the Netflix, that somehow they've found you despite all the other content vying for their attention. So the fact that they've even found you is a miracle, okay? So let's start there. So now that we're there and they're on your stuff with everything else that's out there, we can't assume that they're ever coming back. They're just too busy. There's too many other websites. There's too many other vlogs or YouTube videos or podcasts. There's too many other distractions. And I mean, that's just their online life. What about their offline life? They're busy. Their mums, their dads, their parents. Like, I'm busy, you're busy. We've got kids and school and work. You need to go to Bunnings to get material. Like, whatever it is, you're busy. So it made complete sense to me that if I'm lucky enough for you to stumble onto my stuff, then I better make it worth your while you're here, because chances are, like, I'm never going to see you again. So it might be a 10-minute video on YouTube or an article in a blog post, like whatever it is that you see. I want to make sure that it's worth it. Now, I obviously can't teach you everything, but whatever that one trick or one concept that I'm trying to explain to you in that content is, I'm going to show it all. It's not just going to be some fluff or some teaser. I mean, I want you to be like, wow, like that was really good. Now, look, you might never join my email list. You might never book me for a job and we might never work together. We might never meet. But if in 6 months' time down the track you stumble onto a video of mine again, or you hear someone mention me and my business, I want you to be able to remember my content and think, man, like that was some legit stuff, or he knows what he's talking about. So that's my goal. Does that make sense? I need to assume that you haven't watched and likely never will watch every piece of content I ever make, because you just don't have time for that. Like, nobody's got time for that. So that one piece of content that you see, like, it needs to be pretty damn good. So the theory is that the more you give away, the more people you attract. And the better it is, the better the people are that you attract. And look, that doesn't just go for me and my business, that goes for you in yours as well. So, can we all agree that in order to grow your business, you need more customers, right? You need more people to see what you're doing, to hear about you, to know about you, to know about the thing. We call this marketing, right? And marketing exists and it's huge no matter who you are. You can't avoid marketing. It exists for Coke, Nike, Apple, Amazon, your business, my business. There isn't a business out there that doesn't need some kind of marketing. We could all have the best product in the world at the best price in the world and it does the best job in the world. But if nobody knows it exists, like, we're not going to be able to make any money. And if we can't make any money, then we can't serve the people that we need to serve, whether that's your staff or your family. So we've got to get the word out there. And I mean, that's what marketing is, right? It's getting the word out there. And that's marketing. And what marketing is, well, let me ask you, what do you think marketing is? And if you're like most people these days, then the answer that you're probably going to give me is Facebook ads. Facebook ads. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Facebook or Facebook ads. Like, yeah, they can be used as a part of your marketing. But for the most part, they're a bit of a shallow and they're a bit of a lazy way to market. It's not the full definition of marketing. What Facebook ads really are is you're buying space to interrupt whatever someone on Facebook or Instagram, because they're the same thing, to be like, hey, look at me, come check out my stuff. But you're interrupting their experience on that platform. Now, I'm not talking about the effectiveness of them and, if they can work for your business. We can leave that for another conversation. What I'm talking about is the concept of them. What I believe is a much more effective, more valuable way to market yourself and your business, especially if you're in the building industry, is through content. Now, of course, look, you could argue that you use content in Facebook ads, and the best Facebook ads are good content. And I get where you're coming from, but true content, and by that I mean YouTube videos, Facebook Lives, which are better than ads, by the way, blog posts, articles, that is content. That's real content. So, content, and I believe content is the best kind of marketing, is called content marketing. Now, with content marketing, and where this is so much different compared to Facebook ads, is rather than interrupting their experience, your content is their experience and it gives them what they're looking for. It is what they're looking for. And Here's why this style can work so well for builders and those in this industry. It's because when you put out good content, like, it's out there and it's out there for years to come, and it can and it will serve you for years to come. People are going to find it. They're going to find you and they're going to get to know you. They're going to start to like you and they're going to wind up trusting you. I mean, it's inevitable. And here's the thing, it's not until you have all three of those things, know, like, and trust, that someone will do business with you. Think about the last time you did business with anyone, no matter who it was. Now, think about those three things, know, like, and trust, and if they were all there. And I bet you that they were, because if you don't know them, you can't possibly do business with them. And you're sure as hell not going to do any kind of business with someone who you don't like or you don't trust. Now, a lot of you are going to hear this and be like, well, Ben, like, I don't even know where to start. Like, what the hell can I do for content? I'm a builder. I didn't become a builder or an architect to create content. And well, I get it. Like, I completely hear you. Now, I know I've gone on a little bit and probably a bit longer than I intended to when I started this video, but that right there is what I designed this business to help you with. All I do is talk to people in the building industry. I don't take on clients that aren't in the building industry. So I'd like to think that I know a bit about the types of problems that you guys face, because whatever it is, I promise you, I've heard it before. And I've probably helped someone with it before, or I'm helping someone with it right now. And I've been doing this long enough that I've seen what works, I've seen what doesn't, and I've seen what's been a complete waste of money for people. I've seen the mistakes, and now I want to help you not to make those same mistakes, because I want you to be able to run a successful business. Nobody gets into business to struggle. Nobody gets into business just to get by. So if what I know and if what I can do and my skill set can possibly help you, then that's amazing. And that's what I'm here for. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, then look, stick around, because I'm going to be giving away a lot of stuff and a lot of content. Stuff specifically to help you get leads, stuff to help you convert those leads, to connect with the right type of people, the people that you want to be working with, and make you more attractive to them, and just overall make your business and your life just a little bit better than it was before we met. So now that you know a bit about me and what I'm about and what this new venture for me is about, welcome to Light and Lines.